All right, hello everyone. It's Kiki Strickland, the founder of Friendship Mixers. I am here to talk about Ready to Love season 4. I thoroughly enjoyed this season, and it's actually the first season that I've ever watched completely. Although I can't even say I watched this one completely because I didn't watch every single episode. I missed quite a few, but I saw several. I was ready for the reunion, which just aired, part 2. And I even watched some of their live interviews on their Instagram pages and different interviews they did with other YouTube hosts. So I learned quite a bit that wasn't actually aired on the show, which helps to create a better entire picture of what went on. And what I want to talk about today is dating lessons learned during this show, because I know that single people watch these shows looking for hope and also looking to see how things are done. Is this a better way to date? Is this premise the way that I should be doing things? I hated The Bachelor, still can't stand that franchise because that premise goes against everything that we actually believe about dating. We would never, ever allow one person to be kissing on 50 different people in the same week. That just doesn't make any sense. And then they act like they like at least 4 of them, go meet their families and everything. And no one really knows which one they really like, but obviously they know which one they like because you can't like that many people. You can only like 1 or maybe 2. So that's just a silly premise to me. And I've never liked it, even though I did watch Rachel's season, since she was the first African-American woman bachelorette on there. And I did watch most of Matt James' season, which was the last season that aired during the pandemic, the first Black Bachelor, which, as we know, resulted in quite a shakeup of the franchise. But anyway, Ready to Love is on OWN, Oprah's network. And I do like the premise of it. For those of you that haven't seen Ready to Love, they invite in several professional African-American singles to get to know one another. I'm not sure if they did it the exact same way in all of the seasons, but in season 4 in Houston, during the pandemic, it was done a little differently. They had a mixer where everybody met everyone. So it's 10 men and 10 women that are invited. And people are eliminated from the competition or from the show. The men will eliminate 1 woman and the women will eliminate 1 guy as time goes on. And the goal is by the end of the show to have 3 couples left. So as people are choosing other people, they're hoping that by the end, there will have been 3 couples formed that will choose each other and try to stay together. So that's the premise of the show, as far as I know. I could be wrong, but that's what I think is happening. And I like it because, for one, they choose professionals, seem to have, things going on for themselves, attractive African Americans, and that's always great to see. We love looking at ourselves. I don't know how the previous seasons went, but I must say, unfortunately for this season, season 4, it was very messy and there was a lot of issues. I don't know if it's always like that. I hope not. But things really took a turn for the worse. I don't want to give any spoilers if you haven't watched it, but I do want to talk about one of the particular couples that we were all rooting for. Even nephew Tommy, the host, seemed to be hurt that they didn't make it. That's the spoiler. Sorry. They didn't make it, or at least at this time, they are not pursuing anything with each other. Things change though, and that's one of the things I want to talk about. No matter how things are going, at any time, one or both people can decide this is not working for me and get out. Even in a marriage, unfortunately, today, that happens. One person can decide, this is over. But at the same time, at any time in the future, they might decide to come back together. So even though she is saying, no, that's not going to happen, who knows? You know, you should never say never because things could change. So why am I talking about this? And why do you want to hear from me? So I used to be a part of the dating industry for many years. I started in 2006 as a matchmaker. I was in Ebony magazine as one of the top African-American matchmakers in the country. That was in 2014. And I have been a dating coach since 2009. So I haven't been doing it much these days, taking a hiatus. This is 2021, but maybe in 2022, I'll start taking on clients again. KikiStrickland.com. So, but I wanted to talk about this season because during the years that I was doing dating coaching and setting people up and working with singles, I would see the same thing that Vernisha did quite a bit. And that is run ahead of the man. There's many videos out there about not pursuing a man. So hopefully you know that you shouldn't be doing that. Even in this day and age, the man still wants to do the pursuing. They want to make up their mind about where this relationship is going and then take it there. And you as the reciprocator, you know, can say yay or nay. So during the course of the show, Vernisha and Joel seemed to have a great connection. They seemed to be on the same page. There were a little bit of comments here and there, though, by Joel's family or different people that seemed to think that she liked him more than he liked her, or that she was a little bit clingy or bossy or aggressive or trying to control things. And by the end, by the reunion, they were not together. In fact, they seemed to be angry with each other. He actually did something that I was shocked, because even if you've decided you don't want to be with a person, you don't want to throw them under the bus. And one of the things he said was, did you say you were going to slap somebody? And I didn't think that that needed to come out. That's probably something that he could have kept and kind of covered her. Because whether you want to be with somebody or not, you don't really want to damage their character. And that really was taking it to a different level, I think, even though she probably said that. In fact, I believe she did say that in one of her lives. She said that she said something to that effect. But always let the man lead the relationship as far as taking it to each level. We already know, sometimes we've already made up our mind, hey, this is the one, I want to marry him. But that doesn't mean you have to say that. That doesn't mean you have to act that way. You still want to kind of keep, you know, the cool. You still want to make sure that he's doing all the work, that he's still wooing you. And so one of the things that came out in their relationship was that she was trying to move things along. She wanted to start sleeping over, and he didn't want to do that yet. And he kind of felt like she was trying to control things. And maybe that was the case, and maybe that wasn't the case, but that's what he said. And he said he's going to come on and do his own live at some point. I'm not sure why it's not already out there, because most of them have already done their own lives about the show, which is a surprise, because I didn't think the show would even let you go off and talk about what went on behind the scenes and all of that. Several of them have said that the editing of the show was terrible and that they cut all this stuff out or they made them look bad. And although we suspect that's happening in some reality shows, usually they don't come out and say, oh, production didn't like me, so they made sure my character looked, you know, maligned. So yeah, there was a lot of that going on, and that's kind of sad for a Black show. But again, I think the ratings are high and it'll be back. In fact, they are going to be filming here in the DC area. I will say this for those of you considering doing a dating reality show, you have to have a thick skin because people are going to come for you. They're going to be judging you left and right, talking about you from how you look to everything you said. So make sure if you feel like you're feeling led to actually apply for a dating show that's going to be on TV, make sure you have the thick skin to take it. A lot of them have said they would never do a show like this again because it was just too hard as far as people coming at them, and they got dragged, as the term is, in the they got dragged on social media. They got just talked about really badly. And I don't want to drag anybody. I don't want to talk really badly about anyone, especially Vernisha, because she is a strong Black woman who is an entrepreneur. And obviously, you know, she's a good businesswoman. She's making her strides. But I will say, when I saw her live with Kyra, the very first one that they did, I saw a different side of her. And I thought, okay, I understand now why some of them are saying that they think that she's a little ghetto. I hate that term, but that's the term that people used. And she was just saying things like she got her boobs done and she doesn't wear a bra and nobody's gonna make her wear a bra because, you know. And so that kind of, she came off a little different than she had on the show. On the show, she seemed very quiet, and we didn't see that at all. And when I saw that, I started to think, I wonder if this relationship is really going to work. Because most men do not like that kind of, you know, nobody's going to tell me what to do. If I don't want to wear a bra, I ain't going to wear a bra, even at my grandmother's house. You know, when they're looking for a wife, that's not usually what they're looking for. And poor Vernisha, she has said in other lives that, you know, she is who she is and she can't change who she is. She's 40. She says she's 40 and, you know, she's not changing. And that's fine. If you're not going to change, you know, that's fine. But just recognize that every man might not want a woman that will come out and say something like that on national TV. Okay. All right. So that's all I'll say on that. But I do want to reiterate, no matter how it looks like the relationship is going, because she kept saying, we were on the same page all this time. And then all of a sudden he started pulling back. And she said when he pulled back, she pulled back. And I hope that's true. But it was so evident that he had hurt her feelings. And I'm so sorry that that happened. But the lesson that we can learn from this is if he starts pulling back, you pull back too. You don't say much. Don't get on TV talking about he was one way and then he wasn't another way. And I thought he was doing this. And then, so she was looking at other people. She thought he was probably trying to meet somebody else, fool around with one of the other girls or whatever. Just leave all that kind of stuff alone. Either the man wants you or he doesn't want you. If he wants you, he's making it known. If he's not calling you, if he's not trying to see you, meaning take you out on a date or somehow spend time with you, get to know you better, at least talking to you on the phone, then that usually means he's not interested. And unfortunately, we set our sights on a man and then we try to grab the death grip, and that just makes them run. So if you're feeling like you're doing more of the work, stop. I've said this for years. And I know it's hard because when you really like a guy, you're trying to plan things, you're inviting him to stuff, you know, you're kind of becoming the pursuer, and it just doesn't work. It just, you might get him, but then you're gonna have to keep on doing all the work. So to eliminate that from happening, keep that from happening, just let them lead the relationship. And I really feel bad for Venetia that it didn't turn out the way she wanted. But who knows? Maybe in the future, they might come to some sort of understanding, apologize to one another, and try it again. I will say this about Joel, because during the show, I liked him. I was like, okay, he's one that, seems pretty cool. I did not know he was trying to be a rapper. And then when I saw a couple of his videos, I was like, maybe he does fit with Renisha's, head wagon, not wearing a bra and stuff, because that really wasn't what I thought he was about. There was a lot of profanity in it and all that, the N-word. I really hope that the show can pick people that walk in integrity and that are classy and that carry themselves in a better light. So we'll see how that goes. The last thing that I wanted to say about lessons learned, because from some of the lives that I saw and from another couple from a previous season of Ready to Love, they, I would say the woman on that show revealed some things about people sleeping together and all of that. And that didn't come out in the show. In fact, I heard that they cut out the part about Alexis and AJ actually sleeping together. But then the girl from the previous season, she and another guy from the previous season have a review of the episodes. And she said that they had slept together when they were in Dubai. So apparently there was some trip. And then I also heard that there were a few other people that had actually crossed over that line. So that apparently there's a lot of things going on that of course doesn't make it on the show. But as a lesson learned, when you're in this process of meeting people, because it was kind of like speed dating, they wanted them to get to know each of the people there to see what the connections were, and then you were supposed to rank them. This is my top person. This is my second person. This is my third person. So you have to go on dates, you have to get to know the people, but sex should not be entering in during that time as you're trying to figure things out. At least wait till you have a commitment with the person. And then you got Renisha, who thought she had a commitment with Joel. And then he turned around and said, no, we are not dating. I'm just trying to see where this is going. She's not my girlfriend. So, you get that kind of thing. And it's just best that you did not share that part of you with someone who was not really committed to you. That's my advice. Okay. So there's a lot more we could talk about, but let me end it there. Again, I'm Kiki Strickland, former matchmaking and dating coach, now the founder of Friendship Mixers at friendshipmixers.com, which is all about female friendships, healthy female friendships, and making new female friends. So check us out at friendshipmixers.com. Thank you for listening and see you again really soon.